Hello friends. So today I thought I would record the next video in our essentials of HTML, CSS and JavaScript tutorials. So basically we are using Visual Studio Code that is popularly known as VS Code. This is a free software using which you can do a lot of coding. We are using XAMPP local web server so that we can look at the web pages we have developed. And we are using Google Chrome web browser using which we can see the web pages and we can also debug the web pages. Okay, so using only HTML, there are very few things that people achieve nowadays. They use CSS and JavaScript, but nevertheless, I thought let us start off with an example wherein we are using only HTML. So I have a folder called project2 which I have opened in our Visual Studio Code. Again, what I will do is I will give you the web YouTube links from which you will be able to download and install Visual Studio Code as well as XAMPP local web server. Once you install it in D colon, you can go to XAMPP htdocs and make a folder. Let's say your name is JSR. You can make a folder there, and you can make another folder called project2, and that folder you can open in Visual Studio Code. Okay, by saying open folder, I have opened that project2 folder. When you say project2 and select folder, you will open it in Visual Studio Code. So this is your development environment. Okay, so even inside the project2, I will create one more folder here, and I'll call it ex1. Okay, this is for example one. Okay, and inside this ex1, I'll create a new file called index.html. Okay, so this will be our HTML file which we'll be able to see. Now the Visual Studio Code allows you a shortcut. You just type exclamation mark and hit enter. Okay, so it will give you the structure of a HTML file, right? So you can delete this line, which is compatibility with Internet Explorer, which is old, so you don't need that. But if you look at this, it is telling that this document is of type HTML and the language is English, and the header is saying that the character set is UTF-8, which is an expanded version of ASCII characters, and it is saying that the viewport will have the complete device width and initial scale will be 1. Title will be document. So basically, let us say you come back to your local host, which is available because of your XAMPP, right? And in your local host, you come to the project2, and when you right click and open ex1, this is the index.html you'll see. Let me just save this here, refresh this by using F5. The title document is shown here. I'll change the title to ex1. So if I change the title to ex1 and save it, then you'll see that, and when I say F5, you can see that my title has been changed to ex1. Okay, so this is a very simple HTML, and I will, and inside the body, I will just put in some headers first. So if I say h1, it will automatically, close that for me. I'll call it heading 1. Just for example, just for showcasing an example. And there are h1 to h6 defined in HTML spec. So you can have h2 going to h2, and this is heading 2. Similarly, heading 3. Okay, so basically, friends, this time I'm typing the code. In the next set of videos, I'll not be typing the code. I will just be copy pasting the code, and you can pause the video and type it yourself to get practice. Because typing does take a lot of time, and if I make any typing mistakes, that will take some more time in pointing out the silly mistakes and all that. So though this time I am just typing just for showcasing it to you, from next time I'll just copy paste it, and you will see the code appear in front of you in the video. You have to just pause the video at that position, and you have to basically follow along by typing it yourself, so that you get practice, and the video size and the video duration is also small. Okay, so this is h1 heading 1, h2 heading 2, h3 heading 3, h4 heading 4, h5 heading 5, and h5 heading 6. Okay, so suppose I want a line between heading 1 and all the other headings, I can just do hr. Okay, and there are a few websites you can have paragraphs using HTML tags. So you can have some paragraphs, and if you want some temporary text, you can go to a website called Lorem Ipsum. Okay, so Lorem Ipsum generator, and you'll find some temporary text. So you can just copy paste it and use it. Okay, so you can just select it, copy paste it. Right. Let's say I'll use it in this para. Okay, so probably maybe I don't want so much of it here. Maybe I'll just leave a couple of lines here, and the rest of it I will take it and put it in the next para, and I'll show you how it looks once I do that. So again, friends, as I said, this is typing this manually for this first video, but from the next video you'll see me copy pasting the code automatically. Okay, so now let's say we have understood what h1 does, hr horizontal line does, and these headings do, and the paragraphs do. If I save it and come back to my if I close this and come back to my example one and hit refresh it by hitting F5, you can see that you have the heading 1, you have the line, horizontal line, which is covering the entire width of the browser, and you can see this, that I'm able to size it, and it is automatically adjusting its size. This is the heading 2, heading 3, heading 4, heading 5, and heading 6. There are no more headings. There is no heading 7 defined in the HTML specification, and some of the dummy text you put for this para and you put for this para are showing here. Okay, but in this para, what if I wanted it has survived not only for 5 centuries but also leap into electronic typesetting remained essentially unchanged. After this, if I want a break and I want the next statement to go to next line, I can always do that by putting a BR here. So if I just put a break tag here, BR tag here, like so, right? So what will happen is if I save it by doing Control S, go here and hit F5 to refresh, you can see that after remaining essentially unchanged, it breaks and it continues in the next line. Okay. Similarly, you can it was popularized during 1960s and so on and so forth. So you can use this tags, the H tags for headings, the P tags for para, the BR tags for breaking, and other important tags. What you will see is the reference tags, which is a linking from one web page to other. So you have a href. Href is an attribute of this tag, and you can see that every of these tags has an opening tag and a closing tag, except for HR and BR. So these are self-containing tags; they don't have closing tags. But ahref. A is the link to the next web page tag, which has the opening tag as well as the closing tag. So you can state which website you are trying to refer to. For example, if I go to Submarine Cables, just to give you an example. Okay, so if you look at this this website, it will show you what are all the internet cables and how they are being laid, and how the data in the world, how the internet is spread in the world. Okay, so you can see that the cable going from our Arabian Sea to Sri Lanka, and a few cables landing up in this is Mumbai, right? Yeah, Mumbai, India, and this cable landing in Kochi, India, and this cable landing in Trivandrum, India. This in Tuticorin, India, and so on and so forth. So you can see how the cables are laid out. So if you want to refer to this website in your web page, you can just say give the link here inside href, and you can say that this is submarine cables of the world. Okay, so you can give links like this. Similarly, if you want another link, let's say you want to link to google.com, you can just say https://www.google.com, and you can close that, and you can make the title as Google. And if you save, and if you come back here, if you close this guy, and if you refresh here, you can see Submarines Cables of the World and Google are two links which are shown here side to side. And you can open link in new tab. You can right click, open a link in new tab, and you will get the web pages to which your links are linking to. Okay, so these are a few important tags: the heading tags, the para tags, the ahref, that is the link tags, and another important tags is definitely the image tag. So image source, you can put any image you want. So what I will do is I'll download some image currently from Google, and I will show you how to do that. Again, this is all very elementary. Say save image as, and let me go to project 2, and let me create a new folder, images, and save it as flower1.webp. Okay, so flower1.webp, I stored it. So what I can do is I can now come here, and I can say, you can see this images has created the folder. You can see the folder here. You can just say dot. So this would be dot dot, because I have to go out of ex1, right? Dot dot slash images slash flower1webp. Okay, and I can also provide an alternative explanation to this, which says that if somebody is not able to visualize this, they can at least read the description. So flower, I'll just leave the description as Shift A flower. Okay, so if I save this and come back here and do F5, you can see that I have inserted an image. And good thing, you can see that all these headings are occupying the full lines. Okay, so their display is what is known as block display, right? They're not letting any other elements to come next to them. Okay, so even the paragraphs are they're getting wrapped and broken, but they are on a single line, single para by themselves. But you see the href links, two links I have put it here, and one is not coming after the other. One is coming next to the other, and so is the image, right? This is called what is known as inline display. Okay, this is what is known as block display. This is what is known as inline display. So we will see how to set the display to block or inline block in the future. But for this video, I just wanted to show you these tags and how to use them. Very basic, of course. And if I just say inspect, right? So this is a very beautiful feature of the Chrome browser, wherein you can debug your website, and you can see if I highlight on each of these. Let's say if I highlight on heading 1, it shows you what is the heading 1, what is its padding, border, and margin. Again, we'll deal with this. We will learn more about the box model in the future videos, but just as a view, I'm showing you how you can debug your website. Okay, so if you highlight on your image, you can see that it is 604.401, and you can, when you highlight it, even in the website at the top left here, when I highlight it, you can see its width is 600 and height is 401, and so on and so forth. Google Chrome browsers debugging capabilities a lot. It will show you what is the style, what is the CSS, which is what is known as the cascading style sheets. That we'll discuss in the near future, but it will showcase what are the styles applied to each of these items. Okay, so for this video, that's it, friends, and this has been just a very brief introductory and elementary video, but it will get more and more complicated as we go further. Okay, thank you.